It is a perfect day for football. Temperature 62 degrees as we welcome you to Notre Dame football presented by City. The Northern Illinois Huskies in town to take on the 5th-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Home opener at a place they've been playing since 1930, and these fans especially exhilarated by what happened last week, a week ago on the road at one of the toughest places to play, Kyle Field at Texas A&M. Got the victory. And that has set the table for what was already an anticipated Notre Dame season. Taking that traditional walk down the stairs like all the greats before them have. And it's this year that the Notre Dame faithful want to see it finished off at the end. But this is just game 2. Dan Hicks, Jason Garrett be joined by Zora Stevenson in just a moment. But the Irish off of that impressive 23-13 win before 107,000 fans at A&M, one of the toughest places to play, and these fans have waited to welcome them back. And Marcus Freeman, without a doubt, it was the biggest win of his young career in just his 3rd season, and he has warned his team. They had tough practices this week. In his words, we can't pull off the gas pedal. Everybody knowing what happened a couple of years ago in his home opener against Marshall. For the first time in 24, here come the Irish. When you saw a quick glimpse of Riley Leonard, he'll be a key in hopes of the Irish fulfilling all of their dreams this season. And out come the Huskies of Northern Illinois. Also a winner in their opener over Western Illinois. A big win for Thomas Hammock and his Huskies. But this is a much different caliber opponent as we send you down to Zora Stevenson.
Thanks, Dan. Coach, it's great to be back with you. After a big win on the road last week, how did you all work to turn the page to a Northern Illinois team that would love to spoil your home opener?
Yeah, I think, you know, as you go back and evaluate the film, we got a lot to work on. And so we attacked it in practice. We had a great Tuesday, Wednesday physical practice. And then we had to be smart Thursday and Friday. But this team's ready to go. I just told them in the locker room, great teams don't play to an opponent. They play to a standard. And we got to make sure this standard now even raises from what we did last week.
It's the Notre Dame Stadium debut for your quarterback, Riley Leonard. He told us that last week he had a conservative approach against A&M, but today he wants to test the limits. What do you want to see from him?
Just want to play within the offense. We don't need anything spectacular. Do exactly what your coaches tell you to do. Play within the game plan, and the rest will take care of itself. If we start trying to make plays and throw the ball down the field, then all of a sudden we're playing out of character. Just do exactly what we want you to do, and the rest will take care of itself.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Marcus Freeman and Riley Leonard getting set here to open up the home season. Riley Leonard, the transfer from Duke. And then Ethan Hampton, the quarterback who dreamt of this kind of moment. So the Huskies, upset-minded as they are, taking on Notre Dame. Kickoff when we come back. About ready to get underway. Another home season of Notre Dame football presented by City. Notre Dame has won the toss, deferred, so they will have, or I should say Northern Illinois won the toss, they defer. So Notre Dame has the ball first. Austin Bullock, number 99, kicking off for the Huskies. Back deep for the Irish. Jaden Harrison, who's always dangerous, in fact, has returned multiple kickoffs back 90 yards plus. So out he comes and wrestled down just short of the 25-yard line for a return of 20. And that's where Riley Leonard and company will start. Papa John's starting lineups. We start with that Notre Dame offensive team, and up front of Leonard is a very inexperienced offensive line, but they were very impressive in the opener against Texas A&M on the road. Offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock in his first season here with Freeman, his 3rd stint. We'll see what kind of offensive calls he's got dialed up especially on this opening series, Jason.
And only 2 offensive starters back from last year, 5 new starters on the offensive line. They handled themselves well last week in College Station.
And they'll pass on the first play. Riley Leonard is very mobile, and the pass is caught by Bo Collins, and he is a player that Denbrock told us yesterday they want to get more involved in the offense.
They sure do. Made some big plays in the second half of that game last week, and now they're on the ball again in an empty formation.
And you'll see a lot more empty formations, especially been watching Notre Dame through the years. This is a design play for Leonard to pick up the first down, and he does it more close to the 40-yard line to about the 39-yard line, where Santana Banner finally brings him down. Gain of 6 for Riley Leonard, who rushed for 63 last week in the opener.
And Dan, this is what he does. We saw him move on the first play and get a completion to Collins. Now they get an empty, and it's a quarterback run. Showed up a lot last week, showing up again early on in this ball game.
One of the best running quarterbacks in the country. Proved that in his days at Duke. And this is the first carry for Jeremiah Love, who is expected to have the most carries, although they do have a nice 2-pronged attack with Jadarian Price as well. So the transfer from Duke had an incredible sophomore season at Duke. Then last year he beat Clemson in the opener. Then he was injured versus Notre Dame, and he has undergone multiple surgeries on his ankle and his right foot since. Sat out a spring ball, but here he is, and he felt 100% last week in the opener. And Leonard on the move again, dragging that big 6'4", 216-pound body in there for another first down and a gain of 5.
He is such a weapon running this football, and he's one of those guys, he doesn't look necessarily real quick, but he gets away from people. He's a big body guy, he's an excellent athlete, and somehow, some way keeps making yards on design runs and on quarterback scrambles.
Looks like
again, big last week and showing up a lot early on in this ball game.
Shaking his head like he might have taken a shot somewhere, but on 1st and 10, he'll hand it off to Love. Love looking for some room on the left side. A flag comes in as Love just gets into Husky territory. Notre Dame flagged for a lot of penalties last week. In fact, 11 total, and they've got an early holding call here.
10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And that is on the right guard, Billy Scrouth.
Scrouth, you're going to see him pulling into space. This is a counter play. As Ashton Craig pulls, he tries to cut off that nose tackle.
That was one of the things that Freeman and the coaches said, we've got to be better. Last week, all those penalties. In fact, they had 3 defensive offsides penalties. So now faced with a long situation here to the far side. That pass is complete to Jaden Greathouse for a gain of 8. So he got a little bit of it back.
Yeah, I love the decision by Riley Leonard there. When you're behind the chains like that, 1st and 20, just bits and pieces. Throw the ball in the flat, get yourself into a manageable 3rd down situation. 2nd and 12 right now. Anticipate a similar decision here. Again, they're in the gun, they're on the ball, they're trying to attack with tempo.
Deshaun Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. Quick drop back by Leonard. Looking, surveys, has time. That pass thrown behind Greathouse that time. And he was open. And it would have been a first down had Leonard been a little bit more on the mark, and that brings up 3rd and 12.
Yeah, Riley Leonard wants that one back. Your left tackle right here, this is Anthony Knapp. True freshman starter at left tackle. You can see the traits that he has. He's a big, long, athletic guy. Does a good job locking him up. Riley Leonard, plenty of time to throw. He's going to see that one in his nightmares tonight.
Devin Ford is on the right side of Leonard there. He's the 3rd down back from Notre Dame. Leonard to the air. Pass complete for the first down to Mitchell Evans. His first catch of the year, one of the best tight ends in the country. He's been beat up a little bit as he comes back from an ACL injury.
Excellent job running up on that seam route and crossing that safety's face. He's a big body guy, excellent hands. Riley puts it on him. It's a big confidence builder coming back from that ACL for Mitchell Evans.
Yeah, good news if you're a Notre Dame fan to get him back in the mix. And a big completion there. Sets him up at the 39-yard line for Northern Illinois. Leonard very active. And there's a good example of how he can squirm around that 6'4" body and pick up some extra yards brought down by Jaden Dolphin. And there is a look at the Northern Illinois defense. Good strength in the secondary, but really the strength coach is up front for the Huskies.
This is a veteran team. 18 out of their 22 starters on offense and defense coming back from last year. These guys have played a lot of football. It starts up front. Devontae O'Malley, their best defensive lineman.
It's just a gain of 1 for Leonard. 2nd down and 9. That's complete, and that's a 1st down to Greathouse. So it's a good mix of plays here in this opening series by Denbrock and Notre Dame.
The best offenses attack different ways, and that's what Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, is doing right now. I love Jaden Greathouse. Big guy in the slot. Excellent athleticism. He's a big body. He's a hard matchup for a defense.
Empty backfield for Notre Dame. That was a gain of 11, and they like to hurry things up. That's been a Denbrock mantra through the years. Leonard couldn't find anybody, so he goes to his feet, looking for a spot out of bounds there at about the 17-18-yard line. So Leonard racking up the yards already for Notre Dame. That was a gain of 10.
A lot of talk about this young offensive line. Protection is outstanding. Eventually bringing 5. They're winning all their one-on-one blocks. No place to throw it down the field. But this is what Riley Leonard does. It's quarterback design runs. It's scrambles. His athleticism and his feel as a runner constantly have the ball moving down the field. We saw at the end of the game last week. Showing up here on this first drive.
It was just short of the 1st down. It was a gain of 9, but there is the 1st down. Picked up there by Love. Jake Gassaway on the stop, and out after a gain of 7 by Love, the featured back with Audric Estime now in the NFL. Love learned under him, learned a lot, and it's now pretty much his running game, along with Price, who we'll see for sure later. So 1st and 10. The cadence and the tempo is quick, and this is Love being dragged down now behind the 10-yard line by Skylar Gill Howard.
It's hard to explain why, but when you go fast and use tempo and have a long drive, for some reason the defense seems to get more tired than the offense. And Notre Dame has had the pedal down right from the start. Marcus Freeman has talked about attacking. Trust me, they're attacking. They're attacking with tempo. They're attacking a lot of different ways. They're down in the red zone, knocking on the door.
2nd down and 9 on Notre Dame's opening drive, and it's home opener. Leonard with some room to the goal line. Touchdown, Riley Leonard.
Hey, one of the all-time greats for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelsey, just retired. He was known as a puller. Not many centers pull. Kelsey did, and this center for Notre Dame, Ashton Craig, does too. They pull the tackle, Wagner. They pull the center, and big Riley Leonard. His feet have been the story early on in this ball game. Get him behind it, and he finds pay dirt.
5 rushes for Leonard, 33 yards on that opening drive alone, so he's already got about half of what he rushed for last year, or last week, I should say.
I think they're reviewing this thing, Dan, and
it was close. It was kind of a late signal by the far official as he dove for the line, so under review indeed.
Question becomes, does that knee go down before that ball crosses? Looking at that right knee or a calf. Hard to tell from this view. Maybe that butt cheek went down too. I think they're going to call this short.
That's Gil Howard who's got him by the legs. And Leonard stretching that big body close to it, but it appears that he might be just short. Well, let's bring in our officiating veteran here, Reggie Smith, to help us out with this call. Reggie, how are you, first of all, and what do you think of this?
Well, thanks, Dan. Glad to be back with you and Coach. And as Coach mentioned, when his butt cheek is down, we can see that the ball from this reverse angle, which is not down the line, but this reverse angle, it appears that he's outstretched. So what we need is indisputable video evidence to make it known that this is not a score.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Whoa. So they didn't get that indisputable evidence. Reggie, thank you very much.
And it's a great standard, right? It has to be indisputable. I think intuitively you think maybe he was short. Not enough evidence there, so leave it as it is. I like the call.
So indeed, it's a 13-play, 75-yard drive that took 6.5 minutes on the opening drive for Notre Dame. Mitch Jeter, the kicker now for Notre Dame, who had an outstanding week last week. 3 for 3 in the field goal department. Bolts it through there. And it is an early 7-0 lead for Notre Dame. And it's the Duke transfer in his first home game for the Irish, capping off this 6-play drive to put Notre Dame on the board first. They lead at 7-0. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. By Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. And by the City Double Cash Card. Earn unlimited cash back. And that was an emotionally charged victory at Kyle Field a week ago. Notre Dame going on the road to knock off the Aggies. And Marcus Freeman had his squad fired up from the get-go. Coming out of the tunnel, it was something. And his team matched the energy. And how about this opening drive, Coach? Riley Leonard, 4 of 5 passing, 5 rushes. He was the man on the opening drive.
The Riley Leonard show. That's what that guy can do. He can beat you so many different ways.
So Mitch Jeter kicking off. Back deep for the Huskies, Jalen Poe and company. And that ball came back into the end zone. He had to grab it. It was right on the goal line. That's Gavin Williams who recovered it for Northern Illinois.
This is head coach Thomas Hammock's nightmare.
Look at the bounce this ball takes. Gavin Williams says, oh, we got to get this.
He's got to get it.
He didn't want to take any chances.
That South Bend wind.
Oh, man.
Kept it in play. It's like you on that par 3.
Sure.
Right? Bringing that thing back, but not the place where Ethan Hampton, the quarterback for Northern Illinois, wants to start his first drive. Down 7-0 against the Irish.
Yeah, not the place. Backed up. Ethan Hampton, who won the quarterback starting job over Jalen Macon. He's been the backup for a long time here.
The play is under further review.
And now they're going to take a look at the previous play, the kickoff. And there's Thomas Hammock, the coach who played as a running back at Northern Illinois University back in his day. In his 6th season as coach. Well, let's bring Reggie in again. Reggie, on this kickoff that they're reviewing.
Okay, so while the receiving team gives up on this, instant replay is going to look to determine if the airborne kick touches the goal line. If this is deemed to have come down in the field of play beyond that goal line plane, at that point they will make this a touchback, and Northern Illinois will take over at the 25-yard line.
Hey, Reg, explain that to me. If he catches the ball and the ball is over the plane and his foot's in the end zone, that becomes the touchback? Is that what we're talking about?
No, everything's based on the position of the ball, unlike the feet and the position of the ball. So if this is airborne and then comes down, if this were deemed in this NBC See It shot to be on the goal line by replay, then this will be ruled a touchback to send it to the 25-yard.
And that's exactly what Hammock and company.
First down, Northern Illinois.
Yeah, so the ball's got to hit the line. And it doesn't.
Apparently it did not. Hammock, that's what he was rooting for, to get his team much better field position than backed up on their own 2-yard line to start things off. Most of this coaching staff, Jason, and the vast majority of its players have never been to Notre Dame Stadium.
They're feeling it now.
The first meeting between these two teams. And Hampton set up out of the shotgun to try to give his Huskies some breathing room here. And they'll go up the middle, and a big gain there. A nice gain from back there is Ontario Brown. And he will be the man for the Huskies rushing attack after a gain of 5. As you take a look at the Papa John's starting lineup here for Ethan Hampton and company. Hampton winning that starting job, as we mentioned. The main back here is Ontario Brown. He will be the workhorse for Northern Illinois, and I'm sure it's the game plan, as we talked about, that they'll try to eat clock with Brown. It's a very experienced offensive line up front of Brown, and here he is again. He's got NFL potential, Brown does. He rushed for almost 1,300 yards last season. That's just a gain of 2 for him there.
Dan, you mentioned the offensive line in contrast to Notre Dame. 5 new guys starting for the Irish. This is a veteran group up front, over 100 starts among the 5 starters. Ethan Hampton got his first start last week as the starting quarterback for Northern Illinois. Played awfully well. Different environment here, backed up against the Irish early on.
Yeah, you can see the incredible numbers he had, but that was against a Western Illinois team that is coming off back-to-back 0-11 seasons. So here is Hampton on the run. Not real fast, doesn't have a lot of mobility, so he's upended there by Kingston Viliamu Asa, one of the talented young linebackers for Notre Dame after a gain of 3.
This is an excellent decision by Ethan Hampton. It's an important decision early on in the ball game to stop the bleeding, just using his feet. It showed up a little bit last week. He made a couple big runs on similar type plays. He's a smart football player, and as much as anything else, he's a decisive football player, both as a runner and as a passer. It's a big first down early for the Huskies.
Yeah, after starting at their own 2, they're just across the 10 at the 12-yard line. Down 7-0, and here's a quick handoff to Trayvon Rudolph, who's another one of those players on offense that the Huskies will be relying on. The stop by Captain Jack Kaiser for Notre Dame. They named 5 captains this season before the year started, and 4 of those 5 captains are on the defensive side. They are loaded. Jack Kaiser now another year here, 5th year. You got Howard Cross and Riley Mills, NFL draft picks. They decided to stay, along with Xavier Watts, Benjamin Morrison, also in that defensive secondary. Key players for a very good Notre Dame defense. On 2nd and 5, Hampton looks to the air, pass complete, and in the clear is Brown, and no one is going to catch him. 83 yards. Touchdown, Huskies. We've got flags, though, back on the other end of the field.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 99. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown.
And there you go.
Wow. Ethan Hampton stands in that pocket with people all around him. They go to an empty set. Howard Cross wins. Riley Mills wins up front. Riley Mills gets his hand in Hampton's face. Hampton stands in there and throws a strike. Ontario Brown, an outstanding runner. They motion him to empty. He runs a little post. Hampton stands in here, throws into traffic. Somehow Brown gets it, comes out the other end. What a change of events and momentum here in South Bend.
Cannon Woodle knocks through the extra point, and just like that, Freeman says, all right, let's gather ourselves. After Northern Illinois started to drive on its own 2, and then it's Ontario Brown who busts loose 83 yards to tie the game at 7 apiece in a home opener here. Disbelief of the Irish fans after that one win. The Chili's 3 for Me, featuring a bottomless drink, bottomless chips and salsa, and the Big Smasher Burger with fries. The Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat. Making our way over to the stadium today, Coach. Tailgate
Pretty good.
In force.
Pretty good. We wanted to stop the car, didn't we, Dan?
It smelled good out there. And how about this opening drive that started at the 2 for Northern Illinois? Ontario Brown takes it 83 yards. He's that good. Notre Dame has to keep an eye on Brown as he ties it up 7 apiece.
What an answer by this Northern Illinois offense. Shatter their goalpost. It did not look good. Hampton makes the run to convert the 3rd down, and next thing you know, Ontario Brown's running in the end zone.
And you had the 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff here. So Austin Bullock is kicking off at midfield here. Jaden Harrison's just going to let it sail over his head. And Notre Dame will get ready to take its 2nd possession. Time now ready for the progressive game flow as we take you back to the touchdown we talked about.
Here it is right here. There's Ontario Brown. They motion him to empty, and he's just trying to run a slant. And this is the freshman, the linebacker, Kingston Biliamu Asa, and the coverage is good. He's not letting Brown get inside of him. So Brown goes over the top. Hampton's got Riley Mills in his face. He just throws it in there. There's no deep safety help. Brown stays with the throw, makes the catch, and takes it to pay dirt. Big time play by the Huskies.
Jadarian Price is in the backfield, and Leonard hands it off to him. And Price with his first carry of the game, not much at all, if a yard for Price as we check in on the field with Zora.
Dan, teammates and coaches have nicknames for Ontario Brown. One of them is Slime. Brown told me it's an ode to his speed and ability to hit the hole fast. Brown said he's a slippery guy and the name fits. I mean, a complete back out there.
Huge run to tie it up.
He was slippery on that one, all right.
Second and 9, Leonard out to the flat. And again, this is Price who just had the carry, and he's got nothing. In fact, probably lost some yardage. Jayshawn Prophet, a part of that impressive Husky secondary on the stop.
Love Jayshawn Prophet, just one of those guys who plays that nickel position, and he's active. He's a good cover guy, but then he's active on screens. He's active as a blitzer in the run game, and an excellent tackler.
3rd and 11, Aeneas Williams is checked into the game, a freshman from Hannibal, Missouri.
Looks like pressure. Here they come.
Leonard stands in, and down he goes. Sacked at the 15-yard line. All sorts of pressure. Devontae O'Malley leading the surge up front.
There it is. Defensive coordinator Nick Benedetto dials it up. There's nobody left. It's pressure, pressure, and more pressure. They're bringing more than Notre Dame can handle. Man-to-man coverage outside. They win the one-on-one matches up front. Left tackle Anthony Knapp losing his battle. And down goes Leonard.
And a good chance for the Huskies to grab some little better field position than they had on their opening drive. That was a big loss, so he fields it. Dane Partridge does at the 45-yard line. So they began their last drive at the 2. This one starts at the 45. And we'll be right back with things tied up at 7. In the words of Northern Illinois quarterback Ethan Hampton, he said, this is a business trip. He says, we are not starstruck, and this is a veteran team there, Coach.
It sure is. 18 returning starters on offense and defense. They played a lot of football, and it's one thing to say that going into the game, but when then Notre Dame goes down and scores a touchdown, then they back you up on the -2. A lot of adversity early, and these guys have not blinked, and now it's 7-7. They got the ball around midfield, and they're going back the other way. Impressive.
And they give it to the guy that just took it 83 yards, and Brown around the right side for another big chunk. Ontario Brown finally shoved out of bounds by Xavier Watts.
This Northern Illinois offense challenges so many different ways with personnel. A lot of big guys here, a lot of pullers here. Ontario Brown gets in behind the pullers. And first puller, second puller, finds a crease, and he's rolling. Different personnel groups, different formations, different run schemes. It's a challenge for Al Golden's defense.
And they give it to Brown again. And Brown just inside the 25-yard line. Brown is one of those sturdy backs, right? 5'10", 219 pounds. We talked to his coach, Hammock, who said he's going to be, 5th, 6th round NFL draft pick when his career is over. Brown takes a blow.
Thomas Hammock, his coach, former running back coach for the Baltimore Ravens for 5 years, so he knows NFL running backs. Was at Wisconsin before that, been around a lot of great ones, and it puts Ontario Brown right in that conversation.
Hampton under center. He's got Gavin Williams now in the backfield.
We'll throw it.
And
here it is.
Trayvon Rudolph came around and got the ball and was looking for Partridge.
Absolutely love this call. It's fly sweep. You hand it to Trayvon, and he has Partridge. You saw him belly back. You knew it was going to be a double pass. he's going to have nightmares about that one tonight. Missed opportunity.
He's wide open. So now we've got 3rd down and 8. And the Notre Dame fans letting him hear it on this side of the stadium. And there is the fake to Gavin Williams. Hampton rolling to his right, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Love the call, love the decision at the end of the down by Hampton. Trying to get him out in space and minimize that pass rush by Notre Dame. So put him out on the edge. Notre Dame, excellent job in coverage, locking up all the receivers. Smart at the end of the down, throwing the ball away. Preserve that field goal opportunity. Chance to go ahead on the Irish.
This is Cannon Woodle. The kick team was a little shaky in the opener last week on point afters. He did not attempt a field goal in the opener in the win against Western Illinois. So this one from 42 yards out, and Woodle just drills it down the middle to give the Huskies the lead with 2:13 remaining in the first quarter. Northern Illinois up on the 5th-ranked Fighting Irish in the home opener at Notre Dame. Mentioned that Northern Illinois coach Thomas Hammock was a college coach before he made a run in the NFL, a running backs coach for the Baltimore Ravens. And then when this job came up and he was offered, he says, "This is the only job I would leave the NFL for." He's from Fort Wayne, Indiana. The only other time that Hammock has come to Notre Dame is he took a buddies trip, took the drive from Fort Wayne, Indiana with his high school buddies, football team players, and they drove to a Notre Dame game. That's the only time he's been there before making this trip, and now trying to pull off a huge upset, up 10-7.
And off to a great start, and he's trying to build a program here that can sustain itself. They won the MAC a couple of years ago. He feels great about this veteran team that he has, and they're playing awfully well right now.
This is a good return by Jaden Harrison, the transfer from Marshall. And again, it was Marshall that a couple of years ago upset Marcus Freeman, just the 2nd game of his career, in his home opener as the head coach for Notre Dame. And that was the mantra this week in practice, right, Coach? Put the hammer down. Don't let these guys forget that just because a big underdog comes to town that we got this thing made.
Hey, it's coach speak. One play at a time, one series at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time. And it's coach speak because it's true, and that's what they have to do. And Marcus has been talking about his team a lot about reloading. Let the last play, let the last series, let the last game go and reload. That's what they have to do right now. Early success in this game. But Northern Illinois has changed the momentum, and they have to respond.
Notre Dame beginning this drive at its own 37. Quick drop back by Leonard. Scans the field, and it's complete to Love. And Love gets up to the 45-yard line for a good gain brought down by Christian Furman. 8-yard gain there from the connection, Leonard to Love.
And I like what he did right there. You sit in that pocket. The protection is clean. You don't like what you see downfield, throw it to that guy. They call them running backs for a reason. They're the best runners on the team. Throw them the ball. Jeremiah Love, dynamic runner, but also an excellent receiver. Good things happen when he has the ball.
2nd down and 2. And that pass incomplete, and that was nicely broken up. It was intended for Chris Mitchell. That was Jacob Finley on the coverage for the Huskies. And we got a Notre Dame player down.
Looks like it's Mitchell. He ran the slant as the outside receiver. Ball is down. It's a good throw by Leonard, keeping it away from the defender, Finley. Ball got into his body a little bit.
So Mitchell takes a break, and a good play there by Finley sets up 3rd down now and 2.
These situations were so good for Notre Dame last week because of the threat of the quarterback run with Riley Leonard. They handed it, he faked the run, and then oftentimes he faked the run and he kept it. Will show up a lot in these short yardage situations. Here he goes.
Leonard's going to pick up the 1st down. Close to midfield. Furman brought him down. But Notre Dame keeps the drive rolling after a gain of 4 by Leonard. Let's take a look at our players on the rise, brought to you by Hyundai. This is an entirely different Notre Dame starting offensive line as opposed to last year when you had Joe Alt, the veteran who's playing in the NFL now, along with Blake Fisher, as opposed to this year. Got a true freshman out there on the left tackle and Anthony Knapp. Let's not forget that Charles Jagusaw was injured in the preseason, so he was going to be that left tackle, but out for the year. This pass is broken up at the 45-yard line. Incomplete.
Looks like it's intercepted.
Furman looks like he got it. Interception for Furman because the ball was juggled. So a big turnover goes Hammock in the Huskies' way.
Pretty good protection for Riley Leonard. He's working through his progression, and he tries to fit a ball in there. It's man-to-man coverage. And Jaden Grayhouse is running a hook route. Riley tries to jam it in there. Excellent play coming over the top. Way back, Marcel. Furman running the ball, and he finishes the play.
Hammock is fired up. He's going back to his running back days at Northern Illinois. Big turnover. And so the Huskies take over again at the 45-yard line after the turnover and the interception. That is
got him.
Hammock, and he's got another wide open. Brown streaking down the sidelines to about the 11-yard line. Watts finally chased him down after a gain of 43.
Wow.
And the Huskies moving it up quickly, getting ready to line this one up.
This Ontario Brown does it all, doesn't he? Outstanding runner. You saw him catch the slant for a touchdown. Now he's coming out of the backfield. You fake the fly sweep. Drake Bowen reacts to the fly sweep. Brown slips up the sidelines. They scored a touchdown last week against Western Illinois with a similar type play. They threw it to the tight end. This time they get their best player, Ontario Brown, involved, and they're knocking on the door again.
And a good throw by Hampton to find him, and that is going to end the first quarter. In the home opener at Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman trying to rally the troops, down 10-7, and Northern Illinois on the march again here to try to lengthen their lead over the 5th-ranked Irish of Notre Dame. Well, it was an excellent opening drive for Notre Dame, but it's been all Northern Illinois since, and they have silenced this 80,000-plus sold-out crowd here, Jason Garrett, in a hurry.
They sure have. Notre Dame, they couldn't have had a better start. They go right down the field and score a touchdown. They get Northern Illinois trapped on the -2-yard line. Excellent third down pickup by Ethan Hampton, the quarterback. Kind of kept Northern Illinois alive. Then they make a big play to Brown. Then they get an interception. And now this whole thing has swung around, and they're knocking on the door again. Really impressed with Thomas Hammock and the mentality of this team coming into Notre Dame and handling the early adversity and getting themselves in a position to lead this ball game in the second quarter.
And I know all the Notre Dame fans are thinking about the Marshall game 2 years ago. It's early, but this has been an impressive comeback after that opening score by the Irish. And it's a play-action fake for Hampton, rolling to his right. He was looking for Grayson Barnes and does the smart thing like he did all last week. He's just his 6th career start, but he plays smart.
Smart is the word. He's a smart, decisive football player. When he has it, he lets it rip. And when he doesn't, he makes a good decision. First down in the high red zone. You're on the 12-yard line, knocking on the door. They put big personnel in the game. Then they tried to throw a play action off of it. Notre Dame guards it. He throws the ball away, lives another down.
There's that monster game that Hampton had in his opener, 18 of 20. He broke the school record for passing efficiency in just his 5th career start. And on 2nd down and 10 from the Irish 12.
Keeps it.
And he keeps it. A nice fake to Brown, but he doesn't get much. A gain of 2 before Watts brought him down.
Excellent by Xavier Watts. He was fantastic against A&M last week, and just disciplined and patience. They start pulling these linemen. Here's Xavier right here. They start pulling guys. It can be distracting. His job is to stay home. The quarterback keeps the ball. He's right there, makes the play. 3rd and 8 on the 10-yard line. Important for Ethan Hampton here to be smart. I would anticipate and get ready for Al Golden bringing some pressure, react to everything else. Remember, 3 points are big.
And again, it's to Brown. Brown muscling his way just about deep inside the 5-yard line. R.J. Olben, the Duke transfer, in on the stop, but Brown with another big gain of 8. Just short of the first down.
Big decision.
What do you do?
Thomas Hammock, I like what he's doing here. He's going to go for it. You get down in here close. It looks like it's a long yard. But clearly in his mind, he thought this was 4-down territory to run it in that 3rd and 8 situation. It's a good positive run. They put the big people out here right now.
So on 4th and 2, and Hampton is going to call a timeout and talk things over with Hammock.
30-second timeout.
And it's a good timeout. If you ever have a pang as a coach or a quarterback in this situation, it's too big a situation. Bang the timeout. I can reflect back on my life as a player and as a coach, and you had that little pang and you said, oh, what the heck, just run it. And typically bad things happen. So they felt a little rushed. They didn't love the play. Bang the timeout, rethink the situation, rethink the play, and get into something you like.
Yeah, you got all this momentum too, right? You're taking advantage of this turnover, the interception. You want to get some points out of it. But at the same time,
I think Thomas rethought the situation and said, hey,
the kicker.
Let's take points here. Sometimes that happens.
So Woodall is back out here. Tom Foley, the holder. And this will be a 21-yard attempt for Woodall, who banged through a much longer one from 42 earlier. And he's got it. So he's got a 2nd field goal of the game. And Northern Illinois stretches its lead out to 13-7, taking advantage of the interception. Huskies by 6 early in the 2nd. Huskies cashing in on a key turnover in the average yards per play, 13.8 to Notre Dame's just 4.4. And that was buoyed by the longest Husky pass play in 15 years. When Brown took it from Hampton 83 yards for a touchdown. So Hampton, who dreamt of being the quarterback at Northern Illinois, dreamt of having days like this to try to knock off Notre Dame, up 13-7 here after the 2nd field goal.
Key for Hampton right now is don't take stock of that right now. Stay in the moment and keep going.
So Austin Bullock to kick off. And that is Devin Ford coming up at about the 20 to take it for the Irish. And he's knocked out of bounds just past the 30. Return of 11.
Story of this game is the response by Northern Illinois. Notre Dame scores on the first touchdown. Northern Illinois does not go away. This was the play that got them started. The slant to Ontario Brown. The defense gets involved. Sacking Leonard, getting off the field. Intercepting Leonard. Giving their offense an opportunity. Then one more time, Ontario Brown, their best offensive player, using them a lot of different ways. He's given this Notre Dame defense fits.
So Hampton and the Husky offense take a breather. Notre Dame setting up at its own 29-yard line. That's Jadarian Price rolling around the right side for a good gain on a first down. Price, redshirt sophomore, brought down by a Marion Knighton.
Notre Dame has an excellent 1-2 at running back in Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. And they say, hey, we can pull linemen too. Okay, they're going to get guys out in space. Look at these big offensive linemen run. Price is sneaky. Got excellent lateral quickness and speed to capture the edge. Look at those big guys out in front. Receivers are blocking. It's a big answer for the Irish.
Yeah, Price had a big 47-yard rushing touchdown last week in the big win against A&M. Leonard fakes it to him, and out of the outstretched arms of Chris Mitchell, incomplete. Let's check in again with Zora.
Dan, I'm walking up and down the Husky sidelines, and all I see is poise and composure. No one overly excited, and it takes me back to exactly what you said. NIU is here for a business trip. Maybe no one in this stadium thought they can compete, but they are doing it right now, up 13-7 against the 5th-ranked team in the country.
DeKalb, Illinois is just 160 miles away from Notre Dame. They took the bus ride yesterday. As this pass is complete and into Husky territory goes Bo Collins, the Clemson transfer.
And Bo's been the most impactful receiver. Just a quick screen. He's typically the boundary receiver. And again, those offensive linemen running out in space. Flanagan gets a block. Billy Schrouth gets a block. And Bo Collins, a big, strong receiver, getting north and south. Another big play for the Irish.
One of key three wide receiver transfers for Notre Dame. Leonard showing that good mobility, escaping and making something out of what looked like nothing.
Time and time again, he's used his feet to get himself out of trouble, trying to get a vertical throw down the field. The protection was clean, couldn't find a receiver, and he's fast enough to get outside the pocket. Typically, when you leave the back part of the pocket, bad things are happening. Not for Riley Leonard. Good positive gain.
Second down, still 8 to go, though. At the Husky 39. Leonard not able to outrun it. Devontae O'Malley was able to close off that edge. O'Malley, now a senior, one of those veteran players up front who's gained 45 pounds since he walked on to Northern Illinois, Coach.
Absolutely love how this guy plays. 34 starts. They have a little game up front, so he gets unblocked. But this guy plays with his hair on fire, and that fire coming out the back of his helmet. He chases Riley Leonard down, puts Notre Dame in a long third down situation.
Yeah, loss of 2. 3rd and 10. Big pressure coming for Leonard. He's able to escape it, but Northern Illinois harassing him. He does get it inside the 40, but that'll bring up 4th and long.
This Northern Illinois defense has a lot of veteran players, and they have a big rotation on that defensive line. They keep guys fresh. They're a pressure team, particularly in third down situations. They show you some exotic looks, and they get up the field, and they're disruptive. This young Irish offensive line, their strong suit right now is not drop back protection. They got to stay on schedule. Those third and longs are not what they want to be in. Northern Illinois takes advantage.
Yeah, so the Irish forced a punt. James Rendell, who came over from Australia to be the Notre Dame punter, is a directional punter, and he just kind of flips it in there to the 11-yard line where Partridge handles it. 28-yard punt, and Notre Dame comes up empty on this drive. Northern Illinois taking over again with 10:37 left in the half. 10:37 left in the opening half here. Notre Dame trailing the Huskies as Ethan Hampton sets up this drive at his 11-yard line. Mentioned it's always been a dream of his to be the quarterback for Northern Illinois. He lived about 20 minutes from campus. He used to go over to the field, get autographs from the players as a youngster. Says this is what I've dreamt about, and I can't imagine what he's feeling right now with a chance to go into the locker room at halftime and leading the 5th-ranked team in the country. And this is a good defensive play in the backfield. Drop for a loss as Boubacar Traore came in there and just brought Brown down for a loss of 1.
Boubacar is one of these young defensive linemen that they are really excited about. He plays that defensive end position. Excellent job just getting his hands inside and throwing busts. The veteran right tackle for Northern Illinois.
Second down and 11 now for the Huskies. Backed up here. And right up the middle with lots of room, and should get the first down before Benjamin Morrison brought him down. Brown with another big gain of 11.
Love the call. Sometimes you get one of those minus plays on first down. Hey, you want to throw a screen. You want to get the ball out of your hand. You want to do something in the passing game. They come right back and run the ball right at the heart of this Notre Dame defense. They give it to their best player. This veteran offensive line has been impressive so far running the football against this Irish front.
Brown didn't need to play a lot last week in the blowout over Western Illinois. He's already got about as many yards as he had all game last week. 53 yards, the big touchdown reception, and a good grab there by Brock Lampy, the fullback. for a gain of 4 as we check in with Zora again.
Well, Ethan Hampton worked so hard to get this starting spot. He gave himself less than a month to learn the 2024 playbook. The Illinois native told me he made note cards of every formation and spent his Christmas break in the basement of his childhood home drawing things up on this chalkboard. He wanted to have it all memorized by the team's first meeting on January 17th, months later, and head coach Thomas Hammock said that's why he got the job, because he's comfortable in this system.
His girlfriend helped him memorize those cards. He said she probably hated me, but that's the kind of dedication that he's shown. On 2nd down and 7. Another good gain there before Riley Mills. The big 6'5", 295-pound defensive tackle for Notre Dame brings Brown down.
When you watch Ethan Hampton play, line 1 is smart, decisive. You see that. He understands. And to Zora's point, this guy knows the offense inside and out, and that allows him to play quickly. He doesn't wow you with his physical ability. He's got plenty, but his decisiveness is what's most impressive. They got themselves into a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and a long 2 here. This is a big down for Northern Illinois. Can they stay on the field? Looks like they're spending a lot of time in the huddle. Bet they call a timeout.
Yep, the play clock down there to 2, and exactly right. Hammock with a timeout. Stops the clock with 7:49.
I just love how this guy plays. You watch him last week, 18 for 20. He started games in the past, but this is the first time he started a game when he was the starter, and he responded well in the game last week against the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Now he's come back. He's off to a good start. He's thrown it 5 times for about 130 yards. So what's that? About 30 yards an attempt? He's off to a good start. But again, it's his decision making. He's made a couple good decisions running the football. He's getting the ball out of his hands. He's keeping the ball out of harm's way, which is huge. But this is a big 3rd down for them. And it's one of those, it's not a short yardage situation. 3rd and 2, a little bit longer than that. So I would anticipate Ontario Brown being a featured guy, Trayvon Rudolph being a featured guy, or Hampton himself pulling the ball and trying to run for the 1st down.
Yeah, they've been able to move the ball. NIU averaging 6.2 yards per rush. And they need 2 here on 3rd down. And they give it to Brown. And Brown, with a nice little move there, gets himself just enough room to pick up the 1st down and keep the chains going. Donovan Heinisch on the stop for the Irish. Gate of 6 for Brown. He's racking up some yards.
I like the call. You get in gun. You bring Partridge across in the fly sweep motion, and then you come back and you hand the ball to your best guy. You're going to see Partridge come across. Here's Brown right here up inside behind that big veteran offensive line. Let those guys do it. Splash a little water, give them a little eye candy, then give it to your best player behind those big guys up front. Big conversion for the Huskies.
Set up now at the 35-yard line. Gavin Williams giving Brown a blow. Hampton to the air and incomplete. He wanted Grayson Barnes. Don Schuler on the coverage.
One of the guys that jumped out for me in this Irish defense from last week is that guy right there, Don Schuler. Redshirt freshman out of New Jersey. This guy was everywhere. Had a big interception. Excellent job in coverage, and he wasn't fooled there. They were trying to throw a quick screen and go. They were trying to pump the quick screen, see if they get the Irish to come react to it. Schuler wasn't biting.
2nd down and 10. And Hampton to give to Williams. And Gavin Williams swarmed at the 40-yard line for a gain of about 5.
Dan, I've been impressed with this offensive line. We've talked about it, over 100 starts across the board for this Husky offensive line. All these guys recruited from the state of Wisconsin. We had a guy named Travis Frederick who played center for us in Dallas for a long time. There's something in the water or the cheese or the milk or whatever they have up there in Wisconsin that builds great offensive linemen. The Huskies have them.
Malcor, Lippy, Jernitz, Champ, and Buss, all from the great state of Wisconsin. Just picked up 1st down earlier. Now on 3rd and 4. Hampton swinging it out, incomplete. And a good play there by Jordan Clark. The transfer from Arizona State. Riley Mills applied the pressure on Hampton.
It was an excellent play. It was man-to-man coverage behind the pressure. I want you to watch this guy. He's going to cover the back, and then you're going to see Jordan Clark coming from the other side man-to-man. Boubacar does an excellent job in coverage on the back. Nothing there. Hampton has to progress through. He's trying to find Partridge. The ball's behind. Jordan makes him pay.
All right, so forced to punt, and calling the fair catch is Jaden Greathouse, who was looking for a flag. Hammock does his running back sprint up the sidelines.
He's getting his steps in.
That was a punt at 35 yards, and Hammock is venting a little bit to one of his guys. The voice is back with two iconic new coaches. Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé challenge Gwen Stefani and reigning champion Reba McEntire. Comes your way September 23rd on NBC and Peacock. Beautiful fall-like feeling day here on the campus of Notre Dame for the opener. Home team Irish down 13-7, trying to put together a good drive here maybe to end this first half with 6:09 remaining, starting from their own 30, and they begin it with Love with a good game.
Yeah, I love the call right there. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. When you're struggling on offense, get back to the givens. What are the things that we can do that we know that are going to be successful? They don't have to be splashy, just successful. Get the ball to Jeremiah Love. Get the ball to Bo Collins. Let Riley Leonard run it a little bit and get some positive plays rolling here.
Big gain there for Love of 9, second and short. Leonard. Pass. Incomplete. He wanted Chris Mitchell. A little low. Marion Knighton on the coverage for NIU. Third and short.
Yeah, third and short situation. I would anticipate them on the ball. I would anticipate a Riley Leonard run. And I think this is definitely going to be 4-down territory for Marcus Freeman.
Instead, he gives it to Love, who's got lots of room on the left side and streaking down the sidelines before he's finally run out of bounds by Cyrus Garrell. And a holding call against the Irish.
Repeat third down.
Looks like called on Ashton Craig in the middle. Getting up to that second level as he's blocking Banner. The hands are outside. It's a little bit of a ticky-tack call, but they're going to call it. They're right. The hands are outside. Grab, you see cloth. They'll call that one every time, right, Reg? What are you laughing at?
I'm trying to figure that out.
The threat of the Riley Leonard run in those short yardage situations opens that thing up. Offensive line, excellent job blocking. Craig just got a little greedy with the downfield block and hurt the Irish. 3rd and 5 now. Want to get a positive play here.
Brings it back to their 35-yard line. Riley Leonard sits in the pocket. That pass complete for the first down. And it's Mitch Evans again. His second catch of the day after he didn't have a single catch last week in the opener. Santana Banner on the coverage of the big tight end. Gain of 12.
One of the big questions for Riley Leonard is, can he progress through routes? And he does. He started on the right. He worked his way back to his big tight end, Mitchell Evans. Excellent throw. Throwing the ball away from Banner on the right shoulder of Mitchell Evans. Big pickup.
And bouncing out to the outside is Love, who's just hammered it at midfield after he was gaining some momentum. Nate Valcarcel, who tipped a ball which enabled Hammock and his team to pick up an interception earlier with a nice stop.
What I'm most impressed by Northern Illinois is they're completely unfazed. They feel like they belong on the field with the number 5 team in the country, and they're playing that way.
Second down and 7. Leonard scans to his right, and the right on this one again. Pass was complete, but Santana Banner was right there to put the hit on Love.
Just impressed by this defense. Nick Benedetto's the defensive coordinator. He says we try to keep it simple. We teach the fundamentals. We try to play the right way. They fly around. They tackle. Corners tackle. Safeties tackle. They sprint to the football. It's a lot of white shirts around that runner every time. Do an excellent job playing defense the right way.
We said a lot of veterans, especially in that defensive secondary and up front. Brings up 3rd down and 7. 3:28 left in the opening half. Notre Dame trying to put something together here. Leonard's got pressure on the left, throws it out, and the ball is incomplete. It was juggled by Jaden Greathouse. Jayshon Prophet was right there with him, but it looked like it was catchable.
Riley Leonard got exactly what he wanted. Protection was good up front. Okay, Ford, the runner, does a good job handling the free rusher off the slot. It's man-to-man. And this is why Greathouse is such a good player. He's a mismatch guy with other guys in the slot. Riley Leonard puts it there. He beats Prophet, but does not finish the play. And a huge break for the Huskies. Wow. He's going to see that one in his nightmares tonight.
Absolutely catchable for Greathouse.
Got to make that play.
Leonard put it right in the breadbasket. Rendell now forced to punt for the Irish. And this one just short punt. And it gets a bounce for Notre Dame down to the 12-yard line. Dane Partridge gets on it, but Notre Dame coming up empty. Once again, Leonard takes a deep breath, knew that he had his guy Greathouse.
When you play against teams who want to pressure you and blitz and play man-to-man coverage, you have to take advantage of it. So had the opportunity, had the call, had the matchup you wanted. The big Greathouse in the slot on the slot fade. Everything they wanted, they protected it well. The throw was there. Jaden Greathouse is too good a player. He's got to make that catch.
And that's who Denbrock was telling us yesterday. The he says we got to get Greathouse more involved.
Absolutely. He reminds me of Miles Austin, a guy we used to have in Dallas, because he's a mismatch player in the slot. You see him catch some slants and using his big body, but speed enough to get down the field. Just didn't finish the play.
With just more than 3 minutes left, we'll see what the Huskies do. Backed up here at their own 12. And this is Brown trying for more yardage. Maybe got a couple. Jordan Botello, the native Hawaiian, who's been very impressive this year for Notre Dame on the stop.
Botello plays the Viper position, one of the defensive end spots, and he's in a stand-up alignment, and he's one of those guys that really showed up last week against A&M. He's down 15 pounds. He's always kind of flashed as a player, but he looks quicker and more explosive, and he's a more consistent player right now.
Career six tackles against the Aggies last week.
He just was really active.
Second down and 9, and it looks like a timeout called.
Prior to the flag being thrown, charge timeout. Northern Illinois, their 3rd and final of the half. Reset the game clock.
Huskies with a quick timeout. And Marcus Freeman, who preached to his team, knows about the upset capabilities of so many teams. This is the very first time that these two teams have met. But we talked about Northern Illinois being a veteran team. They've played a lot of ranked teams in the last few years that they have beaten.
Yes,
but they've
boneyard wins. Boneyard wins. That's what they call them, right?
But they've never beaten a team in the top 10. They've got a chance to do that today.
Especially last week after Notre Dame's game down at Texas A&M. One of the most impressive wins of the weekend. Number 5 team in the country, but they're completely unfazed by it. They've come in here and they handled the early adversity, and they're standing toe-to-toe right now.
There's that 0-14 record that they're trying to take care of. This is Brown bouncing his way all the way close to the 20-yard line, past it.
Brown's doing everything. They're handing it to him. They're throwing it to him. He's lining up in Wildcat. Keep getting the ball to your best players in the big moments. Excellent job by Connor, the offensive coordinator, featuring Ontario Brown.
It's the 2-minute timeout, Coach.
How about that? Not the warning.
New to college football with the Huskies up by 6. Coming up, All-State halftime report. Texas dominating the defending champions in the Big House. Oklahoma State with a thriller over Arkansas. All access with Nebraska's Matt Rule. Big game Colorado tonight. Maria Taylor and company bringing you the All-State halftime report with 2 minutes left in this half. And a big play here. 3rd down and 1 for the Huskies. And they hand it off, looking for the first down. It's going to be close. Not sure if he got it.
I think he's short.
He might be short, Brown.
Timeout. Notre Dame, their first of the half.
Good timeout by Marcus Freeman. They put all the big people up there. 2 tight ends in. They did not get a clean get-off on the right-hand side there. Penetration by this Notre Dame defensive front. They just won the battles up front. Notre Dame won the line of scrimmage. No place to go, and as tempting as it would be for Thomas Hammock to say, let's go for it here. You can't do it. You gotta punt the ball. They were trying everything they could to play for that last shot. Good job by this Notre Dame defense stepping up, and now they have an opportunity to come back before half.
Tom Foley, the punt. And waving it off is Jaden Greathouse. And the ball coming out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. 41-yard punt, so 1:41 left here for Riley Leonard. His first home game here for Notre Dame. What's the call here, Coach?
Well, I keep going back to that word reload. Just reload. Forget what's happened up to this point. Don't look at the scoreboard. The situation you have in front of you right now, 1:41, you got 2 timeouts. This is your scoring opportunity. And I want to go back to the idea of just getting to your givens. Get to the things that you know can be successful for you. Even if it's just something small, get the running game going, a high percentage throw, get your featured players.
Devin Ford to the right of Leonard. Low snap. Leonard handles it. Steps up. Pass complete. All the way to the 45-yard line. To Bo Collins, Christian Furman on the coverage.
Obviously, they'll be on the ball going fast in a 2-minute situation. Plenty of time because they have the 2 timeouts.
Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. Clock running to 1:20. Love it. Yeah, right over the middle. First down call. And the clock stops with 1:09. Devin Ford on the catch. Gain of 5, first down.
Good decisions. Had vertical routes down the field. Husky defense was soft. Find the back.
Up tempo here for Notre Dame. Under a minute left in the opening half, trailing 13-7. And Devin Ford brought down in a hurry by Skylar Gil Howard, flashing in there. Timeout now taken by Notre Dame.
Huskies use that rotation on the defensive line, keeping guys fresh. Gil Howard, one of their best run defenders, making a stop there. I like the timeout by Marcus Freeman. 51 seconds. You got 1 timeout. You're about, 18 yards or so away from really clean field goal position. You just want positive plays. After the first down, you're going to get a clock stoppage. Then they're going to restart it. So there's plenty of time here. Again, high percentage throws to your featured players. Like to see Bo Collins stay involved here.
There was a lot of hype, obviously, with a big win over Texas A&M, but one of the calls that Marcus Freeman got was from his Ohio State coach, Jim Tressel, and he warned Freeman. He said, the greatest danger, he said, is illusion that all is well. He wanted to make sure that his old linebacker was staying focused here in Notre Dame. Not that Freeman needed to be reminded of it, but he said it was a good call to have. Nonetheless, they trail the Huskies 13-7 here. And Leonard looking for some time and just throwing it away.
Might be a fumble. Might be a fumble.
I don't know what the call's going to be. It was close. Devontae O'Malley was in on Leonard, who's slow to get up. Holding his left arm.
From the out-of-bounds spot, clock will start on the snap.
It was a forward pass, but like you said, Coach, it was close.
There's that guy again, Devontae O'Malley, lining up on Emil Wagner on the offensive right-hand side. And Riley Leonard has had some success going out the back of the pocket. Not that time. O'Malley made him pay, and they did rule it as a backward throw, and the ball went out of bounds. So now it's 3rd and extra long.
Wow.
Riley just has to be smart here. I'd anticipate a quick screen.
Yeah, so a huge loss there. And Leonard going to the air now. Left side, complete. Greathouse holds on this time.
Wow.
And some extra stuff going on there on the sidelines. Flags fly.
Wow. This Husky team has been so poised the whole first half. Not this time.
After play, personal foul, late hit, defense.
Wow.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, maybe it was that last kind of toss, you think, by Valcarcel.
Well, you're getting close to the white.
Yep.
Both feet are in the white, and you throw them late.
You also got Knighton in there, but Valcarcel just continued the...
And it's inexcusable, Dan. It's third and extra long. You're off the field. Putting that hit in, putting that decision in the officials' hands. It's a really bad decision and a huge break for the Irish.
Irish still with a timeout left, 37 seconds left. And now they're thinking at least field goal here with the big penalty. Leonard, pass to Chris Mitchell. Gain of 3. Clock rolls, 25 seconds left. Second and 7. Leonard moving to his right, just throws it away. Third down.
Good decision. They're right here on the fringe of field goal range. They can kick the ball from here. They still have a timeout, so they can throw the ball anywhere. Leonard's got to remember that. A high percentage throw makes the field goal that much easier. So throw wherever you want, get a positive play, see if you can get a first down. If you need to, you bang the timeout. Or run it.
Up the middle. And that is Aeneas Williams. Christian Furman on the stop. And that's the first carry by Williams today. And a timeout called by Notre Dame. Stopping the clock with 3 seconds to go on 4th down. And that should bring out Mitch Jeter here.
It's a good job by Riley Leonard executing that drive after they got the huge break. Inexcusable penalty for Northern Illinois on the sidelines on 3rd and extra long. It gives Notre Dame new life and a chance to have some momentum going into this half. We heard some booing here in Notre Dame Stadium about running the football there, but they understand the situation. They have a timeout. They want to make that field goal that much closer for Jeter. I don't mind the call. He just has to finish it.
And Jeter was so impressive last week. 3 for 3 last week, Jeter was, including a 46-yarder to ice the game with about 30 seconds to go. Just one of 2 46-yarders he had last week. He's a transfer from South Carolina. Took one visit in the portal and said Notre Dame is the place. This from 48 yards to bring the Irish within 3. And this one is blocked by Northern Illinois. And now they're on the return. Down the sidelines. Still on his feet is Santana Banner, which brings this first half to a very frustrating end for Notre Dame.
The longer the kick, the lower the kick. Snap hold is clean. Excellent push inside. Hard to tell who got it. Got the big paw up there.
Van Hammock, who's done a lot of running up and down the sidelines, very into this game, watches his team block a field goal, and he just kept running to the tunnel.
He sure did, and a big theme for Notre Dame has been one play at a time and reload. The team that's been doing that in this first half is Northern Illinois. Impressive job getting off the field. A big block. They lead by 6 at the half.
Get more with Geico. And as we welcome you back to Notre Dame football, presented by City, Notre Dame got off to a good start, scored on their opening drive, but 13 unanswered points by the Huskies that put them up 13-7 at the half. The quarterback comparison, Ethan Hampton doing his thing, not taking a lot of big shots, has just put it up 7 times today, but the big man for the Huskies has been Ontario Brown. He's got 199 of the 218 total yards by the Huskies. He's been the story, especially that big 83-yard touchdown reception. The offense today, we mentioned it, Coach, really good opening drive. Since then, not much happening for Freeman's offense.
No doubt. Couldn't be more impressed with what Thomas Hammock has done with this football team to come into Notre Dame against the 5th-ranked team in the country and take some body blows early. They had some adversity they had to deal with both on offense and defense. They weren't phased. They've come back. They've dominated since the middle of the first quarter.
And the Huskies to get the ball first. And the fair catch called back there by Jalen Poe. Well, we have a moment. Let's send you back down to Zora.
Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman was honest with me at halftime. He said his group is playing average football, not disciplined. They're not protecting the quarterback. He said this second half will define what type of team they are. For NIU, they came into this game with confidence, and that continues. Head coach Thomas Hammock said, we have them right where we want them. He did tell his guys to be smarter with the penalties.
Yep, there was that one costly penalty that gave Notre Dame a new life on that one possession, but Ontario Brown has been just too much to handle for the Irish, and he's right next to Ethan Hampton to begin this second half. And why wouldn't you give it to Brown? But the Notre Dame defense is right there. Big hit by Botello, who just came in there with a big hit.
Sure was a big hit by Botello coming down the line of scrimmage, and a big stop and setting the tone for Al Golden's defense right here. And this is them last week. No big plays. Today, 3 of them. Northern Illinois used a lot of different personnel groups, a lot of different formations, a lot of different motions. Notre Dame has had a hard time matching that in the first half of this game.
So just a gain of 1 on the opening play for Northern Illinois. Second down and 9. And Brown around the left side tries to find a hole. Does make something and a lot more out of it. Watts finally ran him out, but that's an indication of what Brown can do. Pick the hole and bide your time and pick up 10.
He's really a sneaky good runner, isn't he? He's a short strider. So he's not a guy that's chewing up a lot of ground, but he gets square out here, and he looks like he has no place to go. But then that lateral quickness to capture the edge one more time. There were 5 Notre Dame defenders out in front of him. Jalen Sneed, one of the fastest guys on this Notre Dame defense. Brown just captured the edge, put him in a put him in a first down situation.
They don't call him slime for nothing. Brown with a big pickup there. And play action for Hampton. First pass of this second half, complete to Cam Thompson. And that is just the 3rd completion today for Hampton. Benjamin Morrison, the captain for Notre Dame on the coverage.
Just so impressed with Wesley Bashauner, the offensive coordinator. This is Ben Morrison, just a drag route across the field. It's man-to-man coverage. So you mix some runs in early, then you go play action. Hampton one more time, gets the ball out in front. It's an excellent throw. Thompson can catch it on the run, running away from arguably the best corner in the country.
Hampton just managing this game. He's got another pass complete, and a big gain here by Keyshawn Pipkin. Pipkin with his first reception of the day.
There's a mix. There's variety. Bashauner, the offensive coordinator, says you don't go fight Mike Tyson and stand toe-to-toe with him. You do a lot of different things, and that's what this Notre Dame defense is trying to contend with as we see a Notre Dame player who's down.
And that is Watts, the captain, and the winner last year of the Nagurski Award, honoring the nation's top defensive player. So lots of concern on the Notre Dame sideline for Watts, and we'll step aside and be right back to Notre Dame Stadium. Sunday, it's the debut of Sunday Night Football as Matt Stafford and the Rams take on Jared Goff and the Lions. Sunday, 7 Eastern time on NBC and Peacock. Busy week for you, Jason. You're at the opener on Thursday. Here at Notre Dame Saturday. We'll see you in the studio
What a football weekend for everybody, right? Chiefs, Ravens.
Here's the play on Watts, and he just took a big jar to the right shoulder as Pipkin came up with the catch for another first down, and he went off and into the tent for some treatment. So Watts, who picked up his 8th career interception last week after tying the most in that department with 7 last year. It's a concern. So Rod Hurd has come in to replace Watts here on another first down and 10 for Northern Illinois, and another good run there by Brown.
It's just variety, Dan. It's variety. They're attacking so many different ways. Again, Wesley Bashauner, the offensive coordinator, using personnel and different looks. This is their best player, Ontario Brown. He's in the Wildcat right here. It's just a different look to contend with. They like to pull their linemen. They like to pull their tight ends. Good patience by Brown, getting in behind the second puller, keeping Notre Dame on their heels, and good news for the Irish. Xavier Watts is back out there.
Yeah, just out one play. 2nd and 4. As Brown exited with a helmet coming off. And now another play action for Hampton, and that pass almost intercepted. And it was Watts.
Did you see that play?
He's going to throw it back to one of his teammates.
Wow.
It looked like.
Hampton's been such a good decision maker. This was a poor decision. He didn't have anything downfield in the play action, and he throws it up. And I think Watts was trying to throw this back inside. He knew he couldn't get his feet down, so he's going to throw it back inside. Oh. And Don Shula was chasing him. He would have been out of bounds as well, but you talk about a smart, instinctive player.
It's the thought that counts there, right?
Wow.
That'll give you an idea of the athletic ability of Watts, who nearly had another pick, which would have been career number 9. Instead, we've got a timeout called.
I don't know that I've ever seen that in my life. I don't think I've ever seen that.
All right, with this first time out by the Huskies of this half, let's go back down to Zora.
Dan, that's why he was the best defensive player in the country a season ago. A line that Xavier Watts used in our conversation this week multiple times was, the quarterback is going to take you exactly where you need to go. He continues to eye and read the QB. That's part of how he led the nation in interceptions a season ago. And for a guy with his resume, I wondered if there was anything else that leads to chaos defensively. Secret sauce, something. He admitted a knack for the ball helps as well. We saw it there.
And he's another one of those players that maybe could have gone to the NFL. He's got that kind of ability, as we see here again in this look.
It's an incredible play. It really is.
But it was key that Watts stayed, Coach. Howard Cross stayed. Riley Mills stayed. Jack Kaiser, the captain, another captain of this defense. Real key returnees for Notre Dame's defense when they could have gone to the NFL. So a big 3rd down and 4 here for Hampton. And they give it to Brown, and Brown is caught for a loss, which will bring up 4th and long. Joshua Burnham, the redshirt sophomore from Traverse City, Michigan, a part of that deep defensive line group. Brought him down for a loss of 3.
And you said it, Dan, they're deep. These guys are chomping at the bit to get out there. When they get their opportunity, here they go. This is Burnham on the backside. They pull both linemen, and the great defensive players see that second puller, and they chase him. They chase him down the line of scrimmage. He chases Brown down. A huge stop for this Notre Dame defense, and now this is a long field goal, just like the one for the Irish before the half. This thing comes out low, opportunity to block it.
This is a 53-yard attempt. Whittle's got good leg into it, and it's just wide left. So a big stop for Notre Dame on the Huskies' opening drive. No points for them. Score remains Huskies 13, Irish 7. Notre Dame football is being brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. By Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. And by TikTok. Get into it on TikTok. Some of the summer activities for the Notre Dame players and coaches. Marcus Freeman throwing out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Little Hamilton on Broadway trip.
Alexander Hamilton. How about that?
Feel free to break into the song. I know you know it. All right. I think it's an important drive here for Notre Dame to kind of establish something here again, Coach, on offense. Riley Leonard and company beginning at the room 36 here. And they start with J-Love. Jeremiah Love, maybe a couple.
The only way you can come back here, guys, is you have to do it in a way where everybody's involved. Good example here. This is the field goal, 53-yarder. And there he is, Onye inside. 2 blocked field goals last year. He gets a fingernail on this one. Jason Onye was fired up. He's 6'5", nearly 300 pounds, and he's long. A big play for the Irish on special teams.
Yeah, doing his thing again. 2nd down and 7. Leonard over the middle. Another pass complete. This one to Greathouse. And that is Greathouse's 4th reception of the game. And Riley Leonard and trying to get in rhythm here. The transfer from Duke, so much expected from him, and had that incredible sophomore year at Duke and then got injured last year. Kind of a off-center snap there, but able to handle it. And Love, not much left there. So Leonard comes here to Notre Dame after those years at Duke. And we had a nice conversation with Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, Coach, who says, you know, he is what he is. He runs, but they're going to try to bring a little bit more of the passing into it for Leonard, down the field, to be specific.
No doubt. And Denbrock had Jaden Daniels at LSU last year, won the Heisman Trophy, and there's a similar skill set between those two guys.
That pass complete to the far side to Chris Mitchell, who made a nice grab, and he's one of those transfers, Mitchell, from Florida International, one of 3 wide-out transfers that they brought in along with Leonard to try to stretch the field more downfield for Notre Dame.
Just love the rhythm and timing there. Mitchell can run, so the defense plays off, and he runs up and runs out. Leonard's on time. 1st down for the Irish.
From the Husky 41. And run up the middle is Love again. Another good game. Notre Dame beginning to establish that rhythm. Jaden Dolphin brings down Love, but it's a gain of 7.
Yeah, rhythm is the word. And 3 veteran receivers coming here by the transfer portal. Bo Collins from Clemson, Mitchell from FIU, and Jaden Harrison from Marshall. These guys have played a lot of games, but they haven't played that many games with Riley Leonard. So they're spending time trying to get themselves on the same page.
Big call up the middle. Love hurdles one and now gets to the end zone. What a run. That had a little bit of everything. A good hold that Love was patient to finally burst through and then run up and over a Husky defender and take it to the house.
Hey, it starts up front. This offensive line comes off the ball, creates some space for Jeremiah Love. These safeties coming out of the secondary. Valcarcel tries to go low on him. Jeremiah Love from St. Louis, watching Zeke Elliott growing up, hurdling secondary guys. Check out a page of Zeke's book. Running into the end zone. That's the play of the game for this Irish offense.
Just what the Notre Dame offense needed. 6 plays, 64 yards, and Jeremiah Love taking it up and over Valcarcel.
Yes, sir.
To the end zone, and Notre Dame on top, 14-13. Get ready to put up a fight, because here come the Irish. It's a 7-episode Peacock original docuseries that follows the legendary Irish football team as they make their way through this college football season. Stream the first 2 episodes, available now only on Peacock. What a run by Jeremiah Love to give Notre Dame back the lead. First time they've led since the opening drive. And Love beginning to roll up the numbers. Last week, 91 yards. Today, 76 already.
Jeremiah Love is a big-time runner. Unbelievable quickness, speed, and explosiveness, but also a complete back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Great weapon for the Irish.
This is Jalen Poe calling for the fair catch. And back to the touchdown, certainly worth another look or two.
Now, you're always trying to cut the defense. This is how they do it. This is Eli Raridan going back this way. But watch how the Irish offensive line, they create this seam right here. What's the old expression? You could drive a truck through it. Jeremiah Love goes up through the hole. Safety. Valcarcel, and this is what Zeke Elliott used to do. These safeties, they don't want to tackle these big guys up high, so they go low, and they get wind of it, they get a feel of it. And if you're as talented as a guy like Jeremiah Love, who grew up in St. Louis watching Zeke do it, as a kid, he hurdles them.
He was a 100-meter state champion while in St. Louis, Missouri. Got to add the hurdles to his resume as well. So what can Northern Illinois do in response as they set up at the 25? Well, you go with Brown, the workhorse, and he's met at the line there as that Notre Dame up front defense is starting to stiffen. Boubacar Traore stopping Brown for a gain of 2.
Momentum is an amazing thing in football, isn't it? You make a big play, and all of a sudden it sparks this Notre Dame defense. They look different coming off the ball right there. They feel like they're playing downhill at this Northern Illinois offense. So all three phases working together. Notre Dame trying to cash in on the momentum of the Love run.
You saw Al Golden there, one of the most respected defensive minds in the business, now in his 3rd year at Notre Dame. 2nd down and 8, and they give it right to Brown, the Wildcat, and Brown spinning and turning his way close to the 35-yard line.
Every time this Husky offense breaks the huddle, it's a challenge mentally for this Notre Dame defense. Al Golden likes to do a lot of different things with his defensive scheme, but he gets challenged by the personnel groupings and the Wildcats and so many different things. The end of the down, the ball might have come out at the end of the down here. You see Brown spinning. Hard to tell.
Oh, there's a punch of it as Brown's rear end was hitting the turf.
It has to be a clear recovery. A lot of gold helmets in there.
So up come the Huskies on 3rd down and 2. Hampton to the air. Complete first down. Clutch first down for Hampton and the Huskies. To Tristan Tavis, who adds to the list of receivers that now have at least 1 catch from Hampton today. That's a gain of 11.
Love it. It's 3rd and short. They go speed break. They get out of the huddle quickly and get lined up and snap the ball. And one more time, Kingston Viliamuasa is in coverage. It's good coverage. Excellent job on the drag route running around him. And one more time, Hampton's on the money. It's a big conversion for the Huskies to turn the momentum back in their favor.
And in the Wildcat, Brown, Gavin Williams, and it goes right to Brown from the Wildcat. So they're getting it right in his hands. And he bursts through for maybe a couple. That's about it. Viliamuasa up there on the stop.
When you're defending the Wildcat, if the guy who's in the Wildcat position can't throw the ball, you can commit everybody to the line of scrimmage. And that's what Notre Dame is doing right now. They're 11 blue shirts within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're just loading up. I wouldn't be surprised if the offensive coordinator for Northern Illinois, Wesley Bushhammer, doesn't have some kind of an answer for them down the stretch in this ball game.
Hampton back under center here. And he goes on the left side there to Gavin Williams, and Williams close to the first down.
I've just been impressed with the mentality of this Husky team, being able to handle the adversity of a ball game. A big run by Jeremiah Love. Notre Dame goes ahead. They don't blink. They convert a 3rd down. They got the drive going. They're mixing the run. They're mixing the pass. Bushonder's done an excellent job keeping this Notre Dame defense off balance.
Yeah, Bushonder's a guy that said if you get in a fight with Mike Tyson, you got to keep the feet moving. That's exactly what he's done.
They're moving.
Bird and short. Less than a yard. And the keeper up the middle goes Hampton, and he picks it up.
Again, we touched on this offensive line for Northern Illinois. 5 veteran starters up front, well over 100 starts among that group. So they've played a lot of football. They've played a lot of football against big-time opponents, and they've had success. Beat BC last year, Georgia Tech a couple of years ago. So these guys aren't going away.
There's the homegrown Wisconsin line that has combined for 119 starts versus just the 11 combined starts for Notre Dame's front line. on offense. And a give here along the left side is Demopoulos. George Demopoulos. They're sprinkling it into everybody. Demopoulos, a freshman. As a flag has come in.
Holding. Offense number 80.
And that's coming back.
10-yard penalty. Repeat
And that's
first
on
down.
Partridge.
They go fly sweep to Demopoulos, and one more time out on the edge. We see this a lot in football. It's great effort by Applegate, but it's the easiest call to make. When you're out in space and your hands get away from them or get outside the frame of the defender, and that jersey stretches, they're going to call it every time. Gets them in a first and long situation. If you're a Husky fan, you just got to chip away at this.
Ball at exactly midfield for the Huskies. And a little play action as Gavin Williams looks for room, but there's not much there. Jaden Osbury getting into the act here for Notre Dame.
Love this linebacker crew for Notre Dame. This is Osbury right here. He's an excellent athlete. They put him in a lot of different spots, and they just want to get him some snaps out there. See, side to side. Buries the shoulder in there. He's got good poise. When it's time to explode, he does it.
Got an injured player on the field, the Huskies, so we'll step aside with 3:45 left here in the third. The HBCU New York Classic returns to MetLife Stadium. Morehouse College and Howard University coming your way next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on CNBC. Touchdown Jesus, another one of the iconic sites here at Notre Dame. It's campus. There's J.J. Lippy being taken off the field. The left guard, a part of that veteran line, and Matthew Schooley, number 64, has taken his place at the left guard spot.
Where's he from, Dan?
Well, let's take a wild guess. How about the state of Wisconsin? This is Williams on second down and long. Still well short of the first down. Bring up third down and 7.
Again, it's a good play call to make this first and extra long situation more manageable. You work your way up to third and 7 here. Changing personnel one more time. They keep Al Golden and his defensive staff on their toes with the different personnel that they use throughout this ball game. This is a big third down. Try to keep this thing alive. I'd anticipate some pressure and some man coverage from Al Golden.
Pretty good response to the Notre Dame touchdown. This drive beginning at their own 25. Now at the Notre Dame 41. Here comes the blitz. The pressure. Hampton handles it. Incomplete. And a good play there on Dane Partridge by Jordan Clark.
Heat, heat, and more heat. When you go against an Al Golden defense, if you're a play caller or a quarterback, you got to get ready for pressure. And here they are.
And hurry up on the ball here.
I anticipate a hard count here. Just trying to get him to jump. Notre Dame had a hard time last week in these situations.
Yeah, they had 3 defensive penalties last week. The game against Texas A&M.
A quick kick.
Yeah, quick kick. See if they get a Husky bounce here. It heads into the end zone.
Love it. Love all those mechanics, though. See if you can get him to go off sides. Blend it right into a quick kick. What can Hampton do?
Yeah, he does it all.
Crying out loud.
But Northern Illinois hanging in there. This is the very first time that NIU has had a football game on nationwide network television. And we were talking about it with Hammock and talking about it with the players and the big opportunity it was for them to show the country what they could do. And they're doing exactly that. Staying in a ball game here with less than 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
They've been unfazed. They've been unflappable.
This is Price looking for a hole. Not much there. Maybe a yard before he's met by Gil Howard.
Riley Leonard getting knocked around a little bit. The young offensive line having a hard time protecting him. Getting some bumps and bruises. He runs the ball a lot too. He's a competitive runner at the end of the down. Those hits, both running it and from the pocket, they wear on you after a while.
2nd and 9 call. Leonard goes to the air. It is complete to J.D. Thomas. Gain of 4, though, for Thomas. And a Husky player down. That is Christian Furman being attended to. So we'll take another timeout. Big 3rd and 5 play coming up here for Riley Leonard and the Irish. Aeneas Williams is to his left in the backfield. Christian Furman was able to walk off the field for the Huskies, been replaced by Quinn Erweiler at that linebacker spot. Leonard, plenty of time, building more time, and throwing it out of bounds. 4th down and a punt coming up for Notre Dame.
Love the defensive call by coordinator Nick Benedetto. He's trying to show pressure in this situation. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. Once the ball snapped, they drop out of there. Confusing look. There's some guys in here. They're coming down. They drop out. Protection's clean. It's a 4-man rush. One more time, you see Riley Leonard come out the back of the pocket. Over the course of the season, he has to develop a confidence to step up into that pocket and let these patterns develop. Good job by the Huskies getting off the field.
There's James Rendell, who just dials up a number of punts from all sorts of trajectories. This one, a low fire down to the 40-yard line, where Northern Illinois will take over from there. He arrived from Australia to South Bend. You talk about a culture shock. In June, Rendell did. So he's got a different style.
You said it. He's telling special teams coach Marty Biaggi, I wanted to shoot that liner that time.
I don't know if they got 20 feet off the ground.
Exactly right.
So now good field position here for Hammock and the Huskies at the 40-yard line. Just about a minute and a half left in the 3rd, and Northern Illinois still right in this, trying to pull off the biggest upset in their school's history. Hampton, play fake, rolls to his right, he's got lots of room, and he's going to pick up the 1st down. Hampton with a key run brought down by Jalen Sneed, but he picks up 11.
Keep going back to that word decisive. Uh-oh.
And that's a big loss if Brown isn't able to get up from this.
Huh. And Ontario Brown has had such an impact on this game. It's a play action. Hopefully it's just a cramp. I think it's a cramp.
Looks like it might be, because no one touched him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had too big an impact on this game. Get that guy some fluids and get him back out there. But
Brown has more than 100 yards rushing and receiving. And it's been a long time since a Husky running back with 100 and 100 in that category in the same game. It's been 17 years. And so we're not exactly sure what it is. Maybe it's a cramp. Who knows?
Well, certainly hope he's okay. He's been the best player in this game today. Just a dynamic runner and a tremendous competitor. Certainly hope he's okay.
So Brown takes a breather. Gavin Williams comes in on 1st and 10 from midfield. Closing minute of the 3rd quarter. Hampton with time, going deep down the sidelines. Incomplete. Intended for Grayson Barnes. Sneed was with him from that linebacker spot. Sneed can play about 5 positions out there. He can cover backs, tight ends, everybody on the field.
He's a fantastic athlete, and he's getting more and more comfortable in this defensive system. Al Golden told us he's always been able to make plays outside the system. He's playing better in the system now, and he's an elite cover guy. He's a great matchup with tight ends and with backs. His ability to run and stay with them on display right there.
2nd and 10. And they give it to Williams. With Brown out, Williams can flash for some good yardage, and he gets it done close to the 40-yard line. He can rush. He can receive out of the backfield as well. Let's go back down to Zora.
Well, Dan, you all touched on the fact that this is Thomas Hammock's dream job, and he worked hard for it. NIU Athletic Director Sean Frazier told me there was a point where Hammock called him every month talking about his desire to lead the Huskies. Hammock even named his son, Thomas Douglas, after a dorm on the Northern Illinois campus. Frazier said if you want someone committed to this institution, it's Coach Hammock.
That's called commitment there, Zora. Big play here, 3rd and 2. And Williams along the left side. There's a flag that comes in as he comes up short of the line to gain. Jaden Osbury was on a tackle.
Decision for Marcus Freeman here. It's going to be a holding on Northern Illinois. He's going to push him back.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
And I agree with Marcus' decision there. You don't want to invite them to go for it on 4th and 1. Knock them back. Make them go 3rd and 11. And just at the end of the down there on Jernitz inside, just kept the hands. And there's Osbury one more time. He's been sideline to sideline. He's been really active for the Irish.
Closing seconds of this 3rd quarter. And that should do it. Notre Dame is going to have a 1-point lead with the final quarter to play in their home opener. In the first meeting between the Huskies and the Fighting Irish, 1 quarter to play. Notre Dame with a big touchdown run there by Love. Just leads by 1, though. Northern Illinois giving them everything they can handle on this Saturday. It's Big Ten Saturday night, of course. Colorado, Nebraska. Next on NBC and Peacock, Matt Rule, the Nebraska head coach, going up against Prime Time and the Buffs. There's a look at Prime Time's big playmaker, Travis Hunter, sporting the Warren Sapp shirt.
How about that? Defensive line coach out there. Colorado Buffalo is one of the all-time greats.
Going to be a good one. Colorado has won 3 of the 4 in that back home and home series. There's Ontario Brown, who's got 97 yards rushing today, 126 in receiving yards. So it looks like he's got designs on coming back. We'll see. In the meantime, the Huskies are out there with 3rd and 11. The ball at their own 49-yard line to start this 4th quarter, down by 1. Hampton to the air, pass caught. Good grab by Grayson Barnes. The do-it-all tight end on paper, but the guy can play any kind of wideout position as well.
Excellent job up front with the pass protection. Barnes runs up and runs out on Rod Hurd. Hurd has outside leverage. He's outside of him at the start. Grayson does an excellent job breaking down that leverage and cutting sharp to the boundary. Hampton's on time and on the money. A big conversion for the Huskies.
First catch of the game for Barnes. Hampton now has utilized 6 receivers total today, spreading it around. Gavin Williams still in the game because Brown is out, and he gets the call. Not much there at all. Osbury, one of the first Irish blue jerseys to meet him.
Notre Dame defense really playing downhill in the running game. Deception has been so good for this Husky offense. I'd anticipate them just trying to, keep it moving a little bit more, not trying to hammer this Notre Dame defensive front. And That's great news right there. That's the best player on the field today, Ontario Brown, and he's back for the Huskies.
On this 2nd down and long, Al Golden, the defensive coordinator. Not good news for him to see Brown back in the lineup. Brown has been just a wrecking ball for the defense. And here is Williams again. And he's got a little bit of room. Gets out there for a decent game before he's brought down by Xavier Watts.
It's a better way to attack this Notre Dame defense. You put all the big people out there. 2 running backs. Got Ontario Brown behind the quarterback. If Gavin Williams coming in motion, you hand him the fly sweep just to get away from all those bodies inside. Now we find ourselves another big 3rd down. 3rd and 4 right on the fringe of field goal range. If you're Ethan Hampton, you can't go backwards here. You have to preserve the field goal opportunity as you're trying to get this 1st down.
And here's Brown back in the game, looking for first down yardage. He is short, and that'll bring up fourth down and maybe a yard. Osbury very active again.
It's a big decision for Thomas Hammock, the head coach at Northern Illinois, and it looks like he's going to keep his offense out there. I don't disagree with this. It's going to be a 48-yard field goal. We've already had one block so far.
This guy's made one for 42 at 21, but that would be a deep field goal. Indeed.
At minimum, you're going to see them use some hard count here, but I would anticipate them running a play.
Gavin Williams in the backfield with Hampton. Hampton, straight drop back. Pass incomplete. And Notre Dame holds.
And guess who?
Yep. Mr. Osbury right there again.
This Jaden Osbury has been all over the field defending the run. The biggest stop for Notre Dame today. Man-to-man coverage. Osbury on Gavin Williams. The Irish are off the field.
Let's see who's going above the rest. Brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs. I know number 4 in the blue jersey has been.
He has been everywhere. Excellent run defender. Sits in behind it and makes the play. He continues to show up for this Irish defense. You lose J.D. Bertrand. You lose Morris Learfowl. Opportunity for Osbury to come up and big plays in the run, and the biggest play in the passing game right there, getting off the field on fourth down. Jaden Osbury among 5 guys rotating in at that linebacker position and showing up big time today for the Irish.
The Irish taking over on downs at the 30-yard line. And Leonard goes to work, and he's got Greathouse again. Jaden Greathouse on the coverage was Pierce Opong for the Huskies.
Hey, now it's time for this Irish offense to respond. They got to run the football. They got to be efficient in the passing game. They have to drive the ball and take over this ball game, and it starts with the quarterback, number 13, Riley Leonard.
After a gain of a couple, second down and 8 for Leonard. And they'll keep it on the ground here, looking and picking for a hole here just across the 35-yard line, and that's all that he's able to get.
Here they go, 3rd and 5.
Remember that incredible fourth quarter drive by the Irish last week when they went 85 yards in the final 6 minutes or so. A little more time left, a little different situation, but they put it together when they had to last week against Texas A&M to get the job done.
And Leonard was the guy making those plays.
Yeah, the Bulk get his 63 yards rushing in the second half last week at College Station. This one a little bit out of sync out there with Greathouse.
Nick Benedetto, the defensive coordinator in Northern Illinois, just says, hey, we're going to play man-to-man coverage, and we're going to pressure you. We believe our guys can cover your guys. Jay Sean Prophet working on Jaden Greathouse. It's man-to-man. Run up, run out. He's right in his hip pocket. There was some pressure in Riley Leonard's face. He's behind with the throw. Huskies are off the field. They've been out of sync throwing the ball from the pocket all day long.
Here's the punt by Rendell. And Partridge is able to field it at about the 21. Reverses his field and maintains his balance. And then gets brought down. The ball is out. Scramble for it just inside the 30. And it's a big-time scrum that they're trying to unfold there. There's a Husky up with a football. And apparently Hammock survives this one.
Sure
They're
does.
able to hang on.
Heart was in his throat.
Yeah, knocked out of his hands by Luke Talich.
Partridge reverses his field. You don't want to get up in the air. Talich, excellent job with that left hand punching it out, but then it just becomes a fight. Who knows who has it? It's sitting right there. Becomes a battle underneath that pile, and the Huskies come up with it. Dodged a bullet there.
Absolutely. 10:40 left in the game from their own 29. And just across the 30 is Williams. Haven't seen Brown as involved after he came off the field earlier. He went back into the game. And he's now back into the lineup for the Huskies out there. Actually out there on the sideline, I believe. Now, yep, he's been not as consistently in the offensive lineup.
And he's dying to get back out there.
Gavin Williams remains the main guy on the ground for Northern Illinois. 2nd and 6. He goes in motion. Hampton underneath. Beautiful play there for the first down. Picked up by Demopoulos. Gain of 7.
Yeah, that's on Ben Morrison, too. The motion starts. Morrison on Demopoulos inside. It's just a little slant route. As soon as he sees Alsbury go run with the back, he knows he has man-to-man coverage and just sticks the ball in there.
Tell you what, Hampton is accurate, isn't he?
He sure is. Excellent throw. Good body catch, keeping Morrison on your back.
True freshman working on Morrison there. Demopoulos picking up the first down just across the 40. Williams for a couple. Drake Bowen on the stop for Notre Dame.
Active linebackers, fast linebackers. A couple of last year's linebackers in the NFL, they might be better. They might be better this year. 5 different guys playing sideline to sideline. Drake Bowen getting his 2nd start here today, showing up in the run game.
Yeah, his first career start against A&M last week. Big moment for him. Reserve infielder on the Notre Dame baseball team, Bowen is. So 2nd down and call it 9 for the Huskies. And met right there at the line of scrimmage for virtually no gain. Drake Bowen just slammed into Williams.
They ran that run play right into the pressure. Xavier Watts coming off the left-hand side of the offense. They ran it right at him. One more time, Bowen shows up. Pressure, pressure, more pressure. You're going to get pressure off of here. Watch him make the play. Typically, you want the lineman in front of the back, Dan.
Typically. Williams actually picked up a little bit more after he was met so emphatically, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Get ready for heat. Get ready for pressure.
Notre Dame showing 6 man up on the line. Yeah. They bring 4. Hampton's got not a lot of time, and that ball is tipped incomplete. And that was Morrison getting a hand on it. The intended receiver was Jake Abelcat.
There's a great analogy to baseball. Sit on the fastball. The fastball against Al Golden is pressure. They drop out from the inside, but then we pressure off the edge. It's Rod Hurd. Any of these critical situations, Al Golden's going to bring some kind of heat. You got to be ready for it to get the ball out of your hand. Notre Dame thrives in these situations. Good man coverage on the back end. And again, they're off the field.
Jaden Greathouse back deep. This one is nearly blocked Tom Foley's punt. And calling for a fair catch at the 25-yard line is where Notre Dame will begin its latest drive. Up 14-13 in the home opener at Notre Dame Stadium. Riley Leonard anxious to get back out there. Notre Dame deep in this game, 5th ranked, leading by just 1. A good time, coach, to establish a good drive here. Take it down the field, get some points.
It's exactly what they did last week against Texas A&M in the big moments. 13-13 with 6 minutes to go. A big time drive, and there's a lot of Riley Leonard and Bo Collins. They want to see more of that right here.
This is the pitch to Jadarian Price. And Price with a big gain on the first down of about 8 yards. Call it 6. 2nd down and 4.
This Jadarian Price does an excellent job. He's a good inside runner, but showing he can get to the perimeter there. It's a good drive starter for Notre Dame. They got to keep this run game going, not only with the runners, but with the quarterback. Design quarterback runs can help him on this drive.
Leonard pitches once, throws it. First down. Beautiful completion there to Bo Collins.
Hey, this is reminiscent of the drive last week. They run the ball, and then they put Bo Collins into the boundary, and it starts with the big guys up front. The young offensive line standing in there and giving Riley Leonard some time. I liked how Riley stepped up into the pocket here and then delivers a strike. One-on-one coverage out there. Bo Collins, 3 big catches in the later part of the game last week, showing up again for Notre Dame.
Leonard able to handle the snap. And this one complete. Nice grab again by Collins, who really impressed the coaches last week. He had that key 20-yard reception in that key drive that you mentioned, and it's another 9-yard connection to the Clemson transfer.
And this is the formula. Ex-receiver, big-time guy. If they play man-to-man over there, that's where the progression starts. We had Michael Irvin. We had Des Bryant. In all offenses, if you got a big-time guy over there, make him defend that. Texas A&M couldn't do it. The Huskies at Northern Illinois can't do it either. Keeps throwing the ball to 5.
Second down and 1. Leonard's going to pass. Down the middle. Intercepted. Right into the arms of Marion Knighton. And Knighton is finally wrestled down close to midfield. What a time to throw a pick.
Poor decision by Riley Leonard. Notre Dame had them on their heels. He tries to take a shot. He gets a little greedy, and the Huskies make him pay.
Leonard with a turnover with 5:55 left in the 4th and leading by a point. Interception, second of the game for the Huskies. And Marion Knighton showing that confidence. And the coach says, come on, look over here. We're going to talk about the next series if it comes up. And Riley Leonard with his 2nd interception today. Less than 6 minutes, the next one comes. And now Northern Illinois set up at midfield. And on the ground is Williams. And Williams spun around after a big gain of 8-9 yards. Drake Bowen brought him down.
Let's go back to the interception here. It's a single high defense right here, and they have a double post on. He's going to run up and run out, and he wants to see this free safety go here, so he has isolation here. Okay, at the end of it, he gets what he wants. The free safety reacts to the inside post, and he has a chance to throw it over the top of the defense. He's late, and he's short with the ball. It's a bad throw more than anything else, and the Huskies, Marion Knighton, makes him pay for it.
Hampton on 2nd and short, hands off. It's going to be 3rd and short, as the Notre Dame defense was there to put a stop to Williams.
U.S. Thomas Hammock. Okay, we're going to put you down 1 with 5 minutes to go at Notre Dame. Would you take it? He'd say absolutely. And his Northern Illinois football team has played better than the Irish today. They've played a cleaner game in all 3 phases, and they've dominated. They put themselves in a position to go down the field and go ahead here at crunch time.
Huskies 5 of 13 in 3rd down conversions today. Need 1 now on 3rd and short. Hampton hands it off, and getting the 1st down on the 2nd effort, it appears, is Grayson Barnes, who Hampton calls a freak kind of athlete. And that's just another example of the all kinds of uses you can take advantage of Barnes' talents.
Had a big reception early. They hand him the fly sweep. Quarterback in high school, can play receiver, can play tight end. Timing is excellent. That's Xavier Watts, the best safety in the country. They ran over to make that 1st down for the Huskies.
Inside the 40 of Notre Dame, trailing by 1. Hampton quickly gives it, no gain, and maybe a loss. Williams has been getting every rush practically with Ontario Brown injured. If you just joined us, Brown picked up 99 yards rushing, had an 83-yard touchdown catch for a touchdown, 126 yards receiving, but he has been out after going down just a little while ago. And that has left Hammock without his best player on offense, still with a chance to pull off the upset. 2nd down and 12. Hampton looks right, goes left, pass complete to Partridge, and he gets a good gain. inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line before Jack Kaiser brings him down. There's Brown, who continues to watch things unfold.
Couple things going on here. You see Northern Illinois really trying to bleed the clock, taking some time in the huddle, and then they go quick screen. It's an excellent, excellent job by Jake Applegate, the tight end. The timing of the motion was perfect. Hard to throw those quick screens versus press coverage. The execution was perfect. Applegate down the line of scrimmage, coming back to the ball, and getting up the field is Partridge. Third manageable here.
Hampton is managing a heck of a ball game. This one complete short of the first down. They'll bring up fourth down and short.
And a huge decision for Thomas Hammock here.
That one complete to McElroy. Another receiver, and that is now 8 different players that Hampton has gone to. And now 4th and 2.
They're going to take it down to the 2-minute timeout. Give themselves a chance to think about it. Do you want to kick a 48-yarder? Or do you want to try to go for it? Try to get them off sides here.
Yep, maybe use that one last play before the 2-minute timeout, but the dream game is unfolding for the guy that dreamt of just playing quarterback for Northern Illinois, Ethan Hampton. The 2-minute warning. Illinois going for it on 4th and 2. Cannon Woodall's longest career field goal was a 49-yarder. This would have been about the same yardage, but they're going for it. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, in these situations, you want to give your quarterback options. It's a long 2. Run-pass option here is a good choice for the Huskies.
And trying to get the first down himself is Hampton. And it looks like he got it, not by much, but Ethan Hampton does it himself.
Love the call. Krishammer does a good job giving him some choices there. They go play action and a naked. He has some options to throw, but if he can't throw it, go run and make the first down. And Ethan Hampton, we talked about it right from the start. He's a decisive football player, decisive right there, picking up the first down for the Huskies.
They needed 2, he got him 3. And this drive is alive with under 2 minutes to go. Williams again, maybe a yard, that's it. Zora Stevenson telling us that the return of Ontario Brown, who's racked up all those yards rushing and receiving, is questionable. And so he went down at the end of the 3rd quarter, came back in for a play or two, but then did not return. And so Hammock is doing all of this without his best player and trying to put together the biggest upset in history for Northern Illinois.
Absolutely, and a good timeout by Notre Dame there to preserve the time on the clock, but they have some history. They call these boneyard wings, and it goes all the way back to 2002. Bowling Green, Maryland. They beat Alabama, pre-Nick Saban, Kent State.
They call those wins over Power 5 teams boneyard wins. You're right, they've been doing that tradition for some 40 years. Last was the B season opener last year. And it was Jaden Dolphin, who's up on that defensive front for Northern Illinois, who told us we want to go in there and bring back another boneyard victory back to DeKalb, Illinois. 2nd down and 9 from the Irish 27. On the ground again for another big chunk of yardage to the Irish 20. Gain of 6 yards on the play on that one, and we've got a Notre Dame player down. And that's Donovan Heinisch, slow to get up. Actually, Joshua Burnham, beg your pardon, being helped off. Backup defensive end. So 1:33 left. Notre Dame with 1 timeout. Northern Illinois with all 3 of its timeouts. And parked just outside the 20-yard line of Notre Dame. Been an up and down tenure, really. If you look at Thomas Hammock, they did win the MAC title a few years ago, but they haven't really put together consistent seasons all the way through. But he's in his 6th year, and he is putting together what could be a monumental upset here if he's able to just edge across one more time or get a field goal here late on the 5th-ranked Irish.
This is a veteran football team, and they've shown that all throughout this game, to handle the ups and downs of this ball game, and then to play well in all 3 phases of their team in the big moments. Hard to convert 4th and 2 at the end of a ball game at Notre Dame. They go ahead and do it. They're running the ball. They're in great position right now. Important for Marcus Freeman to be on top of this clock when he's going to use that last timeout to preserve this game. Right now it's 3rd down. You anticipate them kicking the field goal if they don't make it on 4th down. How much time are you going to give your team coming back the other way? Clock is ticking.
Most of these players, as we mentioned at the top, have never even been to South Bend. And when we talked to a lot of them, we said, hey, what do you think of going into this storied venue? They said, we're not going to be starstruck. We're going to play our game. And a timeout called there by Hammock.
Interesting decision by Marcus not to take the timeout there. And keeping that timeout, you really do force Northern Illinois to be in a run situation here. If you had taken the timeout earlier, you might be more apt to do whatever you need to do to make that 1st down. But in this situation, you want Marcus to use the timeout to anticipate them running the football in this situation. Wow. Irish fans are stunned.
And they should be. It looked like it was going to be a lot easier after that opening drive. But now, with 43 seconds, Northern Illinois on 3rd and 2, trying to keep this drive alive. Hammock, the handoff. Wow. 1st down. It's close.
Yeah.
It looked like he did surge for enough, but now the mark might be short.
Looks like the side judge on the other side of the field from us marked him short.
Yeah,
they're going to look at this one. They're going to look at this.
Another look at Williams. Looking for 1st down yardage.
Hard for us to see the ball there, but his whole body gets across. They pull the backside guard, backside fullback, backside tight end. There's a surge.
Hard to tell if a knee went down early before he got across.
The question always is, where is the ball when the knee goes down? And this might give us a better look at where the ball actually is.
Needed to get down there to the 18. They've got it just short of it.
Like we had earlier in the ball game, intuitively you think he made this 1st down based on the looks we've seen, but you need indisputable video evidence. And right now, I don't know if we have it. What do you think, Reg?
I agree with you, Coach. I don't know that we have indisputable video evidence to suggest that this ball carrier is short of the line to gain. Initially, the headline judge comes in and spots this about a foot short of the line to gain, and there's just no angle to overturn this. In my opinion, this may stand based on our available angles.
It's hard to think he didn't cross that yellow line with the football, but we have no evidence to suggest that. They got to leave it as it is.
That initial spot so important, especially when you can't produce video that's going to say otherwise. So,
and I don't think there's enough video to kind of piece it together either. It's the 18. It's not a line. It's going to be hard to overturn this thing. The Huskies think it's a 1st down. The moment of truth.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
He is short. 4th down.
A big stop by this Notre Dame defense, and here we go. They've blocked one of these field goals already. This is shorter. The ball should be able to get up quicker.
Cannon Woodle has been good from 42. He's been good from 21. He had a missed field goal earlier from outside 53, but this is just from 35 yards to give the Huskies the lead. Snap good, hold good, kick good.
Wow.
And with 31 seconds left, Hammock and the Huskies are up by 2.
This is a shocker here at Notre Dame Stadium. Can't be more impressed with this Husky team. In the big moments, they've come up big. A drive late for their offense. They used a lot of clock, made some first downs, got themselves into field goal range, and they came up short. In the short yardage situation, they didn't blink. Whittle kicked the go-ahead field goal. Snap, hold, kick is clean.
And we mentioned how the kicking unit had some problems last week early in the game, and just point afters as Whittle and his snap team of Isaac Hatfield and Holder Tom Foley were having a hard time. But they have been excellent today. None more so than that clutch 35-yard field goal that has put them up with a half-minute left. And Thomas Hammock in Northern Illinois, that much closer to the biggest upset the school has ever had. They have never beaten a top 10 team. 0 for 14 coming into today.
Big time. Notre Dame, 31 seconds to go. You have a timeout. In this situation, all you need to do is get into field goal range.
Whistle comes in, stops Bullock's kick. And a timeout was called by Hammock.
The challenge here for Notre Dame on offense is the worst part of their offense has been their passing game, and they're going to have to throw the ball with just the one timeout. Red, you got something on the spot?
Now, as we can see, it was third down when they, failed to convert. After the measurement, this was a play where the clock was running. So after they stopped this to have a measurement, the clock should have been started on the referee's ready for play signal. By not, it allowed Notre Dame to save a timeout that they otherwise would have had to burn.
Okay, Reggie, thank you very much.
Some poor mechanics that are really going to give the Irish a chance here. Having that timeout in their pocket makes having 31 seconds to go markedly different.
Bullock just hits a line drive to Jaden Harrison. Harrison reverses his field and comes the other way. It's a good return by Harrison just across the 35-yard line with 24 seconds remaining, and the Irish with that one timeout left to see if Riley Leonard can produce some late-game magic.
And decision-making for the quarterback is obviously critical here. He has to be careful using his legs and having these plays go for too long and not getting that much of an output from them. The ball's got to get it out of his hands quickly. They have to get out of bounds. They're going to need some chunk plays in this drive, and chunk plays to happen quickly. Again, I would start one more time with Bo Collins, number 5. Make them defend him.
Leonard's got 3 wideouts spread to the left.
Looks like they're showing some pressure here in man-to-man coverage. I would anticipate them backing out of it, and they do.
Jeremiah Love to Leonard's right. Leonard buying some time, moving up in the pocket. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10. That was intended for Jaden Thomas.
Leonard has to be careful getting too deep in the pocket. He's making it hard on his tackles. Climb back up into that pocket. Thomas is in that position, the single receiver into the boundary. They have Bo Collins up to the top. If they play man-to-man coverage on the backside, here comes Collins into the boundary. If they play him man, he's going to get the ball.
Here comes Bo Collins to the near side, who's had some big catches. The Clemson transfer. Leonard is looking to the left. Pass complete. A strike thrown to Chris Mitchell.
Remember, the clock stops after first down. You can clock the ball here without losing your time.
And that's exactly what Riley Leonard's going to do. Clocks it, stops it with 9 seconds left, still with a 1 timeout.
Okay, they're on the 44-yard line. They have a timeout. They can throw the ball anywhere because they have the timeout. You really want to get the ball inside the 35-yard line to give your guy a legitimate opportunity to kick the game winner.
Field goal could win it for Notre Dame. Mitch Jeter, who's been on the mark for the most part, career-long 53 yards, his best. But again, they need some more yardage here with just 9 seconds left to put him in position.
Leonard can't go backwards here. You got to anticipate pressure. Looks like man-to-man.
Leonard's got some pressure from the backside, gets rid of it. Just in time, looking for Mitchell Evans, but Leonard felt the heat from the Huskies.
He had Bo Collins up on top by himself. He ran the slant, but he had some pressure. This is big here. He's going to kick the long field goal. 5 seconds, even with the timeout, is tough to get a play off.
Tough to get one out to the outside real quick, right? This is a long one.
This is a bomb. 62 yards.
62 yards, spotted at the 48-yard line. A 62-yarder with 5 seconds left. It is downwind, but this is an awful lot to ask. Mitch Jeter, and that's blocked at the line of scrimmage. And the Huskies are celebrating the biggest upset in their school's history. They blocked 2 field goals today. Both came from Cade Haberman. And that provided the final nail in Notre Dame's home opener here. Ethan Hampton, the guy that dreamt about being the Husky quarterback, dreamt about coming to South Bend, said it was a business trip. Well, he just took care of business.
An absolute stunner. Northern Illinois coming to Notre Dame Stadium and knocking off the #5 team in the country. We talked to the coach. We talked to their players. They were confident coming in. Can't be more impressed with how they handle the ups and downs of this ball game. Let's throw it down to Zora with Coach Hammock.
Coach, I can sense that you need a moment. Top 5 opponent. This is NIU's first win against a top 10 opponent ever. And for people who need context, you wore this jersey. It's deep for you. Why?
You know, I'm so proud of our kids, the coaches, just everybody. They believed. They believed. And we came here and got it done.
You told your guys this week that you didn't need anyone to be a superhero or superhuman. They just needed to be their best. What kind of performances did you see out there?
They listened to what I said. I told them all week, we don't need luck. We just got to be our best. And they was their best today, and we was able to get it done.
Where's this emotion coming from for you?
You know, all these guys that have been with our program, been through the ups and downs, and to continue to fight, you know, it's like they my kids. I'm happy for the adversity to push through. You know, no matter the situation, I just couldn't be more proud. I'm sorry.
No need to be sorry. Boneyard wins is what you call it when you all beat a top 5 opponent, a power 5 opponent. There was 70,000 people in here that probably didn't believe. Why did you all believe?
We got a veteran team, a bunch of guys that have been through a lot of different things, and they work together. Like, we still are in college football. I know it's a whole bunch of other things with the transfer portal and NIL. We still have a family, and they believe in that family in doing things the right way. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
Congrats, Coach. Go celebrate.
Thank you. Hey.
This team in the preseason was picked 3rd in the MAC And we mentioned how it's been a little bit of an up and down tenure lately the last 2 years for Thomas Hammock. 3-9 and 7-6 the last 2 years. But you could see the emotion on his face. He believed in his team. And in the end, the guys that really mattered believed in this upset, Jason Garrett. And this was a team, wow, when you're talking about Notre Dame, that was poised. And, you know, you tend to get ahead of yourselves a little bit in sports. The big win at Texas A&M last week, and everybody was looking at the schedule for Notre Dame and kind of paving the way. College football playoff 12 teams. Well, this was a big time punch in the gut for the Irish.
Absolutely it was. But that right there is why you coach football. The relationships that he has with those kids, and what a great day for Northern Illinois, but a gut punch for the Fighting Irish. And you said it, everybody in the country was talking about their path to the playoffs after the big win down in College Station last week. And Marcus Freeman was on top of it. Al Golden was on top of it. Mike Denbrock was on top of it. They practiced hard. They talked about human nature and what they need to do, but you have to go do it. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it as a coaching staff. They didn't do it as a team in any phase of their team. They are better than Northern Illinois. They should win this game if they want to have the year that they want to have. And a disappointing game for them. They're going to have to learn from it, move on, and see what they can do with this season. But it's happening too much to Notre Dame lately, and this was a hard one to swallow for them.
Yeah, you mentioned happening too much. Shades of what happened a couple years ago in Marcus Freeman's opener. They went on the road, played a good game against Ohio State, but came up a little short, came back, and it looked like he was just going to grab that win. And, you know, he was so well aware of that. He put the team through the paces this week, and we were with the team, and they knew how you can't take a team like Northern Illinois lightly. They didn't, but hats off to this Husky team.
I just go back to the start of the game. Notre Dame goes right down the field. They go up 7-0. Northern Illinois' first opportunity is on the -2 yard line. You think they're just going to dominate and blow them out of the stadium. They convert a third down. They make a big play in the passing game, and the whole thing swung from there. So Northern Illinois' ability to handle the ups and downs of this ball game showed up. Notre Dame didn't do that, and they got to learn from it.
Yeah, they got to get ready to go. They go to Purdue for their game next week. In the meantime, it is one of the big upsets, certainly, of this college football season. The biggest upset.
Shocker.
Notre Dame goes down to Northern Illinois as we send you back to the studio. Maria Taylor and company. The Huskies over the Fighting Irish by 2, 16-14.